Alright. Now that we're getting on the highway, I want to have a quick little discussion about a show I know nothing about. It's a show called Duck Dynasty. I watched one episode, maybe, a long time ago. I recently heard on the news that one of the stars of the show had been suspended. I guess this is sort of a new thing. I don't know a whole lot about the show, so I don't know what he was like in the show or what other characters are like too much. I mean, I have a general idea. I've seen it once or twice, maybe. So anyway, I heard he got suspended, and I saw an article online, so I read it as to why. And this is one of those situations where what he was saying was a little bit prejudiced, a little bit hateful, and even a little bit racist. But it's one of these rare cases where, even though I disagree 100% with everything he said, I don't think he should have been suspended for the show for it. And let me tell you why. I think everyone has their own opinions on things, and if we can't, well, in their case they can't, but if you can't intelligently discuss them with other people and have your own opinions, then, you know, why not just take all of our abilities to have opinions away? Right? If the show, I guess it almost seems like if they tell what their characters, what they can and can't say, then it's not really a reality show, which is true. In this particular case, it's sort of like a reality television show about a bunch of rednecks in Louisiana, which, I mean, that's why I haven't watched it. That kind of thing just doesn't interest me. A bunch of rednecks who are like, oh, I'm gonna go fishing instead of go to work. Alright, that's kind of a weird lifestyle. I'm not gonna disagree with you for it, right? You can exist. I just won't like you, that's fine. I don't agree with your racist and sexist comments, but at the same time, I don't think you should not be able to discuss your opinions. So, in this particular example, he was suspended from the show for things he said not on the show, right? If they'd said on the show, they would have edited him out and said, hey, we're not going to say those things. But he was on his own personal time doing an interview for GQ or something, where he said all these things. And while I do think it's messed up, I don't think that's grounds for being suspended. I would hope to God if I say something in this very video, perhaps, and it finds its way on the internet, and then, you know, wherever I work, they're like, oh, we don't agree with riding motorcycles. We think that's, you know, it offends cagers, it offends people on four wheels. I'd be like, yeah, I don't really care. That's sort of my opinion. I like to ride motorcycles, so I don't really think this should affect my job. I didn't say it here at work. I said it on my own personal time. It just happens to be in a forum where lots of people might see it. Well, not for me, a lot of people, but, you know, if one of these other really big motovlogger names were to say something on their channel, which they do regularly, you know, they're not going to get fired from their day jobs just because they're not in the, I mean, they're a little bit in the spotlight, actually, to be honest with you. They have, you know, thousands of people watching them, possibly, maybe not as many as Duck Dynasty. There are a lot of rednecks in the South, but there are a lot of people who watch this show, and just because he's in the public spotlight doesn't mean he should be suspended for saying what he believes. You don't have to disagree with it, you just shouldn't suspend him. So, this is one of those rare cases where I think, you know, freedom of speech should definitely apply. Now, I realize that's only constitutionally protected, not from your job. That's a little different. But I think his job is you know, he works on a television show about a bunch of rednecks. What did you expect him to say? Whenever your stars go out and speak in public, they're going to make fools of themselves because they're not particularly intelligent and they have unusual beliefs by modern society standards. So, rare instance where I really don't think he should have been suspended from the show. I disagree 110% with everything he said, more or less. You know, alright, 98% with everything he said. I'm sure he said some word in there that I don't disagree with. I didn't actually see the interview, I just read an article, and I don't remember what the source for the article was. But I feel the same way about both sides of that coin. For example, you know, a lot of the things that Oprah says that other people can't say. You know, she can get away with saying a lot. Other people get in trouble, and then she talks about the exact same subject, and, you know, her ratings go up. So, I sort of disagree with any viewpoint that's going to get you in trouble. So, it's not that she can talk about something and doesn't get in trouble, it's that someone else can talk about something and they do get, quote-unquote, in trouble. There's a lot of semi-famous, I know, yeah. Can't think of his name. That's that DJ, the radio guy who says all kinds of crazy shit. Ron, damn it, I can't remember his name. Anyway, yeah, so there are famous examples where he can't say something, but she can. It doesn't matter who you are. I think you should be able to speak about your opinions. At your job is one thing. If your job is to speak about your opinions like a radio show host, then people shouldn't be surprised when you speak your opinions. In the same way that when your show is a television host, people shouldn't be surprised when you speak your opinions, and yet one of them gets in trouble and the other doesn't. And I just disagree with that. So I disagree with what he said. That's a really, really long and pointless way of saying I disagree with what he said, but I don't think he should quote unquote get in trouble for saying it. So that's my quick rant about that. On an unrelated note to that, I'm going to get my bike fixed today. I'm finally getting it in the shop. She's got just past 15,000 miles. I know, that's all right. I haven't had this bike. It's been about 2.5 years now. And it had very, very few miles when I bought it. That's part of the reason I wanted it. It was such low. It was just so low on miles that I couldn't pass it up. So I'm bringing it in. It's going to have a nice big tune. They're going to replace all my fluids, replace the chain, replace this is bad. You can see it's leaking a little bit. The fluid reservoir there. Another fluid reservoir is bad. There's just a lot of little problems that I've been putting off for a while that now are presenting themselves as bigger problems. Like the chain, for example, which is so loose and stretched out right now that there's definitely a that's what she said in there. But anyway, there's this needs to get in and get some work done, so that's where I'm bringing it right now. So hopefully I won't be out of commission for too long. So I'll let you know how it goes, and I'll see you soon.